Hello, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm perfect.
So glad that we are finally
Uh,
connecting.
I'm sorry for this technical issue.
No worries. So, I welcome you to the second episode of the Global Goals, and which is an initiative taken by us to interact with the change makers across the globe so that we could get to know about the work that they are doing, their journeys. And a brief about me: my name is Meghna and I'm connecting from Delhi, India, and I am the founder of a startup based out of Delhi, India, by the name of Swan, which is Skilled Workforce Advancing Nation. And primarily we work on building capacities and also to empower youth who are coming from different sections of the society, be it the school students, be it the students who are coming from the economically weaker sections of the society, college students, and also working professionals. So we have a lot of specially designed training and learning programs that we run for them, and this is a way to get in touch with them, get to know about the problems that they are facing, and also to connect with them, resolve their problems through the various workshops and training sessions that we have with them. And in today's session, I welcome you to be a part of this episode, and to all the audience who have joined us and who are also joining us. Just to give you a brief about the speaker for today. So we have with us Mr. Mourad Arjouzi, who is a maths teacher at Ministry of National Education, Morocco. So with this, we welcome you, sir. And let's start.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's start with the discussion. And the first question I have for you is about your introduction, your journey of becoming a maths teacher, your obstacles that you faced, and also what made you to become a teacher, what inspired you to become a teacher, and also everything around your journey. So over to you.
Thank you so much for this invitation. So my name is Mourad. I have master degree in mathematics, also in business intelligence, certificates Silicon Valley, and also many certificates in soft skills, computer science, and management. So I worked for 5 years in computer science in big companies like L'Oréal Paris, University of France, and Orange. And I worked on projects for helping young people to create some social projects. And this case, my mind it changed, and I say what I can do for humanity. So I changed my field to be math teacher for
That
being so need of students.
That's really interesting. So,
So
would you, because we there are a lot of students who are following us on our page who are also going to watch your video once we end the session. So, would you like to share something about the work that you are doing at present, and also how has been your experience in dealing with students, teaching them maths, and also interacting with them?
yeah, so first when I was a student, I had something, so I was very good in mathematics, but not another field, for example, in communication. And I had to change my life, what is very important in education system. And in this case, I start to change my way for learning. For this reason, I joined education, and actually currently I work for developing education system in the world. So I believe in education is the root of solution of a lot of problems.
Very true, very true. And particularly during the time of pandemic, we saw that all these schools and universities were shut down. So how was this time for you?
Yeah.
And so how was this time for you? And what were the ways? What were some of the innovative ways that you could think up in order to get in touch with the students so that their education does not get disrupted? Would you like to share them?
So, so I think we need to benefit for this period. Sincerely, for me, it was the best thing that can happen and positive side, because a lot of organization, a lot of university offer and give us this opportunity to learn. So now we start to think about how we can teach in hybrid, and the students might be responsible and autonomous and their own education. So we need to help them to connect and to learn how we can work online.
Very true, very true. So that's really nice. That that's really positive, and that's a very optimistic point that you said, that you perceived the entire period of lockdown in a positive way, and you were able to connect with a lot of universities and also encourage the students to go online. So would you like to share some of the best practices, with the audience, with the viewers who are going to watch your video, on what are some of the things that you took into consideration so that the education, the studies of the children does not get impacted?
I think in this case, we need to learn students how to learn, because now we start to understand how to learn, because now we have a big information. We have a lot of information. So we need to know how we can benefit. And in this case, also, we need to learn how we can use artificial intelligence, because before I didn't think about it, but with COVID, I start to think about the importance of now and master intelligence artificial and also data analysis for helping students to develop their skills.
Very
For
true.
example, students, they must control what they learn, what they can receive, and for taking action.
Very true, very true. I completely agree with you. Also, in line with what you shared, so talking about your experience and also your interest in the subject of maths, which is, perceived very differently with the children, particularly, school children who think that this is a very difficult topic. So how easy or how difficult was it for you to, teach mathematics subject to the students? And how do you make sure that, you are able to break down the complex, numericals or maybe sums in the best possible way, so that the students change the entire idea about the subject mathematics and the way they perceive it?
So if we will say math is very hard, we are true. And if we say that the math is very easy, it's true also. It's a work about mindset, how we can receive the subject. And also what I think, because a lot of people in the world, they have this fear about, is about they listen and they hear when they are young, in primary, math is very hard, math is very hard. And the second thing, I think, because students, they don't know why it's very important, mathematics, and why we use mathematics in real life, because we need to relate every subject with real life. For example, why we need to study math and why we can use it in real life. For example, I give my students a simple question. Sometimes it appears very stupid. Why we use mathematics? I'll give example in the real life. So when we are going to supermarkets, we need to buy, for example, 3 things for something. So in this case, we can understand what is the importance of multiplication, and also math is more than calculation. Is the way how we can think differently. So it's the logic. So I think we need to work in our mindset before teaching math.
Very true, very true. So in continuation to your insights that you shared around maths, and also linking it to the time of COVID, wherein we went online for most of the teachings, and also we acknowledge the fact that going digital and also equipping ourselves to digital mediums can actually bring about a lot of learning. So maths being a very practical subject, how did you ensure that the learning goes on effectively in the online classes? So what were your medium of teaching students? Were you able to solve the questions practically using whiteboard, or did you prepare presentations with numericals so that the students find it easier to learn based on all the topics that you have had as a part of your syllabus?
So I think we in this time in 20.
I think I'm losing out on your voice due to network. Uh, I think you'll have to repeat. Yeah, you'll have to repeat once again. There seems to be some network.
I can't hear you
Yeah,
clearly. Could you repeat?
I think I have lost you. Could you now I can hear you clearly. Could you repeat it once? The things you shared, your insights that you shared. Will it be possible for you to repeat it once again? Because I feel I lost you in between.
I think that we start to teach students to do some research, and they must learn how they can have information, and they can ask what they don't understand very well. In this case, they can learn more. And I learned that from a big experience. I think in Germany, they start to say that students can be teacher for students in for example, the master students can teach the first year or second year. So in this case, they can develop a lot of things. Or firstly, communication, proactive, and also critical thinking. And sometimes students can be teach more than and better than teacher because they have the same level as the students.
Very true, very true. I think this is a very good point that you have raised, and I completely agree with you. So, in continuation to our discussion, because you mentioned that you are actively involved with a lot of industries, also a lot of universities. So, what are some of the sustainable goals, development goals that you are working on? So I assume that education, the goal on education would be one of the primary goals that you might be working on. But apart from this, what are the other goals that you are working on, and also which are the goals that you are really passionate about learning, or maybe practicing, or maybe implementing things?
So I work in two goals, so SDG 4 and also SDG 5, because I believe that women is the heart of society, and also if we work with women, we can resolve a lot of problem. I will share some problem. For example, if we have woman leader, so he can educate very well children, and also if we don't have this kind of discrimination of women. So in this case, we can resolve another, because we know woman is more emotion. So we can use this emotion for helping our children. And also, if we will resolve the problem of education, of discrimination of women, women can find the work. And also we can resolve the problem of poverty. So I believe that is very interesting to work in SDG 5 and also SDG 5, because in this case we will resolve the problem of another SDG, for example, environment. If we will resolve the problem of education, we can create new generation of entrepreneurs. So we will not have the problem of discrimination. We will not have problem of environment. we will not have a problem of climate change because we educate very well and the students start to be the problem solver or not just the problem. So in this case, we will change the problem as opportunity.
Very true. So at the end of the, the crux is that unless and until we connect the dots and work in an ecosystem that leads to one supporting the other goal, we will not be able to holistically complete our work around one particular goal that we are doing. And I completely agree with you
Yeah.
on the same. Yeah.
And also, and also, I want to share something. So, in my experience, sometimes we can't tell the students in middle school they must work in SDGs or something like that, but we can prepare for them. For example, in this year, I had just the idea to start with them about critical thinking, and also I start to teach them some tools in business. For example, PDCA. I will share what does mean PDCA for students or our audience. PDCA is plan, do, check, act. So everyone need to plan for the future, and also they must check because I will say that knowledge without action is nothing. We need to take action, and also we need to check what we will do very well. We can keep it, and if we will not do something good, so we can skip it and we can find a good way. For example, I will repeat the way the teaching of math. So if students they don't have good marks, they must understand why they don't have good marks. In this case, they must change their strategy and having, and also they must learn how to accept the failure because failure is the first step of success, and we can correct our mistakes. And I start to work with them about communication. In this case, they can defend their own problem and they can resolve it. And also for women, I encourage because I know some students, girls, they have fear about talk and in front of people. So I work with them. So I balance between teach math, business, and coaching. And after that, when they will master this, we can resolve the problem of SDGs.
Very true, very true. I completely agree with you. Also, would you like to share any of your experience or incidents that was heart touching for you throughout your journey of teaching the students? Would you like to share any experience or any incident that might have happened which was like a learning for you, or which you really remember, or maybe which you liked it a lot based on maybe the subject that you taught, or maybe any student came to you with anything, so it could be anything. So would you like to share any such experience?
Yeah, we can judge person if they have a bad mark. For example, I have students they don't have good marks, but if someone check him, we will say he is a bad student. But after I noticed that he is very good in computer science, and we start to talk about the higher level in computer science and data analytic, big data. And secondly, also I am the learning from my students, because in the first time, for example, when I like to say them, you must talk very well in English because it's very important in our life. So I must start by myself. For this reason, I joined
Very true, very
university
true.
to study English, and also empathy, because when you start to do something with the students, you must start it by yourself. So also I start to learn from my students what does mean influence by doing. So we are working in leadership. So I must start by myself. I must work. And also what I write in table, work hard with patience. So I learned that for my students, but I not when I am tired, I can't do anything. I say in my mind, I say for my students, you must do that. Why you don't do that? So you must start by yourself. And also, when I talk with my students or anyone in the world, you must be the change maker. I must start by it. What I did, what impact I did for choose humanity. So I must start also by myself. And sometimes your students can give you some ideas about the future. Sometimes you say that it's stupid question before we say that, but they are not stupid question. Sometimes the stupid question can be the best question in the world. So we need to have this adapt, learn, and life learning.
That's really true, and this is really insightful. The points that you have shared. That's really interesting. Murad, I would request you to kindly turn reverse your camera so that we can see you. I can see your screen at the moment. So I think if you are there's an option of yes, perfect. Now I can see you. So in continuation to all the discussion that we had, and also the interesting points that you shared about how things are in itself interrelated, and how the students can actually learn from us, and we in turn can learn from we in turn can learn a lot from the students. Makes this relationship of mutual respect, the teacher and the student relationship. So, my next question to you would be, would be around, uh, your message to the students who are watching your video, and also who are going to view your video once you are done with the session. So, what would be your message to the young generation, to the youth, to the students, to the change makers who are watching you at the moment, and who will also watch your video after we end?
So I can give a couple of advice. Start by yourself, self and yourself. You are the future. We are the future. Our humanity needs us, so we must work hard. We must keep our hand to work together. We can't resolve the problem. We need to help each other. Stop to blame another. Stop to blame why you don't do what, but ask yourself, what did you do for this humanity? Take action, believe, help another, because we work in or we are in circle of energy. More than you give, more than you receive. Don't judge anyone, but help him or her to resolve the problem. Take action, share love, share peace, share energy, power energy. If you can do something, just give a small word for someone. Don't say, don't love if someone do mistakes, or but encourage him. And also, I encourage our audience, please, we have a big opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities. Just think outside the box, think differently. If you something say something bad, change it. And also, if every week check what did you do very well, keep it. If you do something bad, change it, and be optimistic. Optimistic,
That's really
optimistic,
insightful. Yeah,
optimistic.
that's a very
Stay
positive.
constructive.
That's a very positive message that you have shared with everyone. I'm really thankful to you. And also, before we come to an end to the session, any quote or anything inspirational, any, your role model which you would like to quote or maybe share?
So I have a lot of models. So I start to do something. So now it's 2 years. I listen a lot of leader, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Tony Robbins. I inspired by them, and I keep work. And also, I don't say that I achieve my goal, but every time I like to have a big goal. And also, what I suggest our audience to think big and take a small action. Small action is like we like to create a pyramid. We need to start by basic, after that move to another, because when we start by small action, we can be motivated. But if we will do a big task, maybe we can fail and we don't have this ability to go on.
Very true, very true. And this is very insightful, very inspiring. All the points that you have shared. And we are really thankful for you to join us in this session. And we look forward to interacting with you in many upcoming sessions. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining it today.
Thank you so much for your invitation, and I'm so glad. It's an honor for me to be in with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you everyone whosoever joined us today. We will be posting this video in some time on our handle. Do watch the journey and all the insightful points that have been shared by Mr. Mourad. Thank you everyone. Good night. Goodbye. Have a nice day.